Hi there, and thank you for joining us for another video today. My name's Eric Bennis. I'm one of the financial consultants here on the team at John Graham & Associates, and the topic of today's video is 4 risks that could be outside of your control as you approach retirement or even during retirement. So you may be a great saver and a great investor, but there's still going to be a couple things that are outside of your control, and I want to walk through these and talk about ways that we can hedge against these risks. The first risk is your life expectancy. So none of us really know how long we're going to live, but statistically, people are living a lot longer these days than they have in the past. So there's different Social Security collection methods out there. You can start collecting as young as 62, or you can even put it off until your full retirement age, or even 70. And the longer you put it off, the more you're going to be able to collect. But again, would it be better to collect early if you're not going to live as long, or to wait until you're older if you expect a long life? Now, none of us really know how long we're going to live, so that's why it's important to meet with a financial consultant and go through those numbers and see how long you would have to live in order to maximize your current situation and the way that you plan to collect. So because people are living a lot longer these days, something that they have to account for also is they may have saved and invested some money in an IRA. But that IRA now has to last a lot longer in an IRA. But that IRA has to last a lot longer than if they were to, say, only live till 75, because these days a lot of people are living to 90 or even close to 100. And so what you want to start thinking about and talk with your financial consultant about is creating multiple streams of income so that you're not just reliant on one account that you would quickly drain. So you'll have Social Security and probably an IRA or other type of retirement account. And there may be other things such as annuities that you may want to discuss. The second risk that I want to talk about is the rising cost of medical care. So these days, if you have to go to a nursing home or even just spend a couple days in the hospital, the bill you're going to get is quite large, really, and we want to be able to deal with that throughout retirement. So there's a couple things to mention here. Long-term care is something that can help people stay in a nursing home for extended periods of time, but still be able to retain their assets because they're not having to pay these massive bills constantly. So because they bought the long-term care coverage, that's going to help them cover the cost of being in a nursing home. Now, a lot of people think, hey, I'm probably not going to be in a nursing home. That's just not me. But statistically, more and more Americans are ending up in nursing homes for at least a short stay. And I know from my own experience, there's somebody in our firm, their family member actually lived more than 20 years in a nursing home. So if you can imagine paying out of pocket for that versus, having insurance cover that for you, there's a big difference there in their ultimate financial outcome. And the longer you wait to look into long-term care, it does get more expensive because you're approaching that age where you actually might need a nursing home soon. So it's good to bring that conversation up with your financial consultant and try to have that conversation as soon as possible. The third risk that could affect you as you plan for retirement or as you begin retirement is something that we're all very familiar with. It's just market risk. So the stock market, it has up days and down days, but what if it has a down day or a down period right as you approach retirement or as you begin your retirement? So the value of your account is less than you had anticipated it being. And that's okay because over time it can come back, but right now is when you want to start drawing income. So what should you do? What we would recommend is before you actually go into retirement, talk to your financial consultant, let them know ahead of time, and we'll create a plan so that you are in more conservative investments or investments that are appropriate for your situation so that you are able to set aside that money that you're going to need and it can be there for you rather than having to be at risk for market swings that could greatly impact how you're able to spend your money in retirement. The last risk that I want to bring up today is inflation. So for the last few years, we've enjoyed a relatively low inflationary environment, and what apples cost one day, they cost the next day. But right now, for example, we're in a higher inflationary environment. In 2022, we've seen inflation numbers go above 9% actually. And so because of that, we have to consider if you're in retirement and you're no longer earning money per se, you're now drawing money from your various income sources, we have to be aware of rising prices means we may need more money coming in order to maintain our standard of living. So because inflation is something that we have to deal with, Again, talk to your financial consultant about how you're currently invested or what products you currently own, because there are certain ones that can deal with inflation in a more effective way than others. And so it's important to have that conversation, make sure that you're actually prepared for the future, because inflation can ebb and flow. So just because it's low or just because it's high doesn't mean it will stay that way. So you have to have that dynamic plan in place to account for all these different situations, because you may be retired for decades and you want to be ready for anything coming your way. So understanding these 4 big risks will greatly impact your readiness for retirement, and if you already are retired, then hopefully it can greatly impact how future meetings go with your financial consultant and give you a couple of conversation starters to make sure that you're in the best place possible to deal with these potential risks. And again, if you don't currently work with somebody, or if you need to have these conversations with a qualified financial consultant, we're always here and happy to talk. Our website is investwithjga.com and our YouTube is investwithjga. Thanks for watching the video, and follow us for more great videos on different financial topics.